What's up, boys? What's the latest with you guys?
Just grinding at the rink. Spent a solid 13 hours there today. Home for about half hour. So it was a long day, but it was good.
It's a grind.
Colin, you back yet?
No, I'm still in Florida. It's going good. Just on the grind, lifting every day. Weekend was in Palm Beach, which was fun. Went and saw Mark. Hit the little nightclub scene there. It was fun. And it's Florida, so everything's open. So it was nice down in Palm Beach.
Do you guys have to wear masks down there, or what's the deal?
No, I have literally not touched a mask since I got off the flight to get here. It's unreal.
Jeez.
So nice,
That's
dude.
insane. I don't know
That's
what
so
to think
nice.
of that.
It's like a different world down here, dude. It's like a different world. It's
Yeah,
nice though. It's
It's
fun.
sounds like
insane.
Yeah.
Huh. And
been
Joey,
good,
what's
though.
new with you? What's going on?
Yeah.
Just working away, training. Yesterday was probably the biggest grind I've had ever. Got up at 4:45, worked out from 5 to 7, and then I
At home?
worked. Yeah. Well, no, this was at the
Okay,
gym.
this is the first day at the gym.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
First and last day at the gym?
Yeah, pretty much. Oh my God. I can get way better lift at my house. 100%. And then so anyways, 5 to 7 worked out, and then I worked with my dad putting in floors from 7:30 to 3:30. And then right after that, I hopped on the ice at 4 o'clock, 4 to 5, and then I worked as a shooter from 5 to 9:30.
Jesus.
So
What was your strain
Big
yesterday? What was
shots.
your
that was
strain?
quite the day. It was like 18.
Really? Today was
Yeah.
probably my Colin, do you have a whoop?
Dude, I gotta get one. I'm still
Ah,
one of you two has to refer me. Joey referred me a while ago. I still have the link. So when I get back, I'm gonna
Yeah,
order
get on that. Get me that free month.
dude,
100%.
you're missing out. Today I had a 17-2 and I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 5 activities. 5 activities today.
Oh
I had workout in the morning, then our practice, and then I have an other. I don't even know what I did, but I have a strain from it. And then I have coaching and then coaching again. I got a 9.9 and an 8.0 from coaching tonight, and my strain was 17.2 today for me, which is insane because mine never
Yeah,
goes that high.
yours always stays low. Yeah.
So
Um.
it was a busy day.
Yeah, that's 6 activities. Sometimes it's the
Joey,
text activities are just like you weren't even like doing an activity. You know what I mean? You're like
Yeah, like
cleaning your room or something.
well, dude, the one day I cleaned the house, like mopped and vacuumed, and I had like a 12 strain. It was harder than practice. I'm like, what's going on?
what the hell?
Colin, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say Joey just goes on the app and just breaks the app because it's too much strain. He just goes on. It's like a red
Oh.
screen. It's just like game over.
I
GTA
wish
wasted.
I like don't strain at all. It just takes so
That
much for me
thing,
to strain.
Really?
that
What
thing
the hell?
hates Joey because it's like, okay, you slept 30% tonight. Like, way to be.
Yeah, I know that's one thing I haven't figured out is sleep. But anyways, let's get right into this. So obviously we don't have a guest this episode, but we do have some that are lined up in the coming months that are going to be absolutely insane. So hopefully those come through and we'll have some good episodes for you guys. But for now, when we don't have guests, we're going to do, I guess, an underdog story for the episode. And today we're going to talk about Tom Brady. I think that's a reasonable person to talk about, especially right now. They just beat the Saints the other day. Like he's going after another Super Bowl yet again. But let's have the football player take this over and give some background on Brady. So Colin, take the floor.
Let's go, baby. So Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. is his full name. Was born. He was born in California, San Mateo. And JV was the JV quarterback sophomore year, or no, freshman year, and they went 0-8. Didn't win a single freaking game. Team didn't score a touchdown the whole year. Ended up being a starter junior year, and then had a breakout senior year. Got recruited by some Power Five, big time West Coast schools like UCLA, obviously Cal Berkeley, and then ended up going to Michigan. Obviously great education at Michigan. You're playing in the freaking big house in front of 112,000 people. So can't really go wrong with that. So played football, and then was a talented baseball player in high school too. So he was drafted out of high school, 18th round. But we'll get back to football because obviously that's what he does. and was good. He actually set the completions record in one of his first starts at Michigan, which is really impressive.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, which obviously big time. So he stepped up. That's like been basically the story of Brady's whole career. Like we'll get into that, but he was never really meant to be the guy. And every single time he got the chance to be the guy, he just freaking performed.
Yeah,
which is that's as big of an underdog story as it gets. And so then was a 6th round pick at the combine was just atrocious. I don't know. I mean, people have probably seen his combine stuff. He's out there in freaking khakis. He looked like a dad off the golf course. Going out there trying to run a 40, running a 5.3.
I've seen that clip. I've seen the clip on Instagram of him doing the 40-yard dash, and it's like, what the hell was that?
The best is the interview. Have you seen the interview?
No.
Yeah,
no, I haven't seen that.
Oh my god, they just pretty much like they just talk shit about him the whole time, like how bad his performance was at the combine. And here he is today with the most successful quarterback of all time.
Exactly. Greatest player ever.
But yeah, so that's good stuff, Colin. That's a good summary of Brady. Let's talk about. So the main focus of these episodes, we're going to focus on like our opinions. So these are not professional advice or by any means, but we're going to give our opinions on what we think his keys to success were. So I guess I'll start off. I mean, going back to when he was in high school, first of all, your team's 0-8. The team stinks. You don't win games. Most kids would probably quit right there. Done with football after that. You know what I mean? And
look at all the high school hockey players around here. They play a couple years, team stinks. Oh, yeah. They're like, yeah, that's it. I had fun in high school. It isn't for me.
I know. And so, yeah, that's one thing that started a long time ago was resiliency and his ability to adapt to the situation, which we've talked about on here before many times. I mean, it's a common denominator of most of our guests is their ability to adapt to adversity and change with time and any situations that are thrown their way. But he is still showing resiliency. At what age is he now? He's
43, I think he is.
43. Yeah, I mean, you'll never see a QB go this long ever again. There's no way.
Well, he played what? He played a full 20 seasons with the Patriots, and now he's doing his first season with the Bucs.
I mean, at this success rate, there's no way you're going to see anything like this ever again.
Yeah. I think we'll get into some of this too, but the work he's done with the plyometrics and the pliability with Alex Guerrero, who's his trainer, is just nothing short of remarkable. I mean, he has a book on it. I don't know if you guys have read the book. I haven't actually read the book. I have it in my house, but I want to read it soon. But the work he's done with this guy Guerrero.
Work ethic there. You got to read that book.
Dude, literally, like I have to read it. Not a huge reading guy, not a huge reading guy. So coming out of freaking Middlesex, it's like I'm reading a John Hirsch freaking essay every single freaking night, so I'm just kind of done with reading for a little bit, but I probably got to get back to it.
What were you saying?
But I was just saying the work he's done with Guerrero, I think that's a huge part of it, because whenever you see Brady get hit, it's like he goes down, it's like he's laying down on a bunch of pillows. Like it's crazy. The guy's never got hurt. The only time he got hurt was 2011 on the season opener. Got hit by this safety, this big guy Bernard Pollard, chopped him right at the knee, tore his ACL. But that was
just jinxed him. Now he's going to go down in the game before the Super Bowl. Broken leg.
I'd feel so bad, dude.
Don't even.
It goes to Cunningham, comes back. Oh my god.
Hey, that'd blow up our podcast. We'd put that on the air and out on every platform. They'd be like, "Oh my god, it was all this dude Colin Cunningham's fault."
Most hated podcast ever after that.
Yeah, horrible. We go down the tubes right there. See ya.
But yeah, I was just going to say, so back to Joey's point. I think a big thing for me looking at his story would just be his ability to perform in the moment. I'm going to compare it to my favorite guy, but Crosby's similar. The bigger the stage, the better he seems to perform. And I mean, I think Tom Brady falls in that category as well. And every opportunity he got, he took advantage of that. And that's what these great athletes do. They get any sort of opportunity, they take advantage and prove why they should be there.
And you know what? Like it's been his story his whole career. Obviously he's the comeback kid. Like he's the comeback kid besides Crosby. I mean, he's also a comeback kid. But anyways, going back to when they played the Falcons, right? In the Super Bowl.
I was at that game.
Yeah. Just it's insane. And you know what, Dylan, like you say, performing on the highest stage, he's always shows up and he's ready for those situations. But there's times where it's in every sport. It's the inevitable that things don't go your way, whether you like it or not. Even if you're performing at your like peak performance, and it just, I don't know. I don't know. I honestly couldn't tell you how it works like that. It's his mental game is just off the charts.
Yeah. And how many times have we seen, in his days with the Patriots, they're down and he comes back in the fourth quarter. In the fourth quarter, sorry. You see that game after game, like he just doesn't give up.
Yeah, you just expect it at a certain point.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Wait. So, sure. Colin, you were at that game?
Yeah, it was crazy, dude. And one thing I was going to mention about that game was from about 10 minutes, with about 10 minutes left to go in the game. You know how we talk about, like, obviously you're running like a 2-minute drill. There's no room for error. There's no margin for error. In that game, they were down 28-3 with like 3 minutes left to go in the third quarter, down 25 with about 10 minutes left of game time, game minutes. There was no room for error. There was no margin of error. There had to be basically all touchdown drives. And I think he had like 3 touchdown drives straight. And then they had the 2-point conversion to Amendola. But literally every single drive had to be a touchdown with like 10 minutes left to go in the game.
And it pretty
so
much
that
was.
makes it even harder. Oh, no, yeah, it all was.
And I'll never forget Edelman's catch off the helmet. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah. That was crazy. Yeah, that was insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, we're a little straying from the topic here. But Colin, what would you say about Brady? So Dylan, what's one word that you said? Just ability to perform. I guess you can't really put that.
Yeah,
I
think I'd go with taking advantage of your opportunity in the situation.
That's not one word, but that's okay.
Okay, but Joey, I can only summarize that so much.
No, I'm just messing with you. Colin, what would you say?
I would say focus. I would say focus because in order to achieve and to perform at that high of a level with the stakes as high as they were and as they always have been and as they always will be, it's an undeterred focus that basically any lapse of mental performance, and the next thing you know, you're throwing an interception, you're getting sacked, and just like that, the game's over. And
have you ever seen him panic?
I've seen him panic. I haven't seen him panic on the field, but off the field, yes. Like I've seen him yell at his receivers and coaches a few times.
Off the field, but on the field, I've never seen him like freak out. I mean, honestly, that's one thing that I don't like about him is like when he goes off on his teammates sometimes when it's clearly his fault in some situations. Which, I mean, everybody's going to make mistakes at some point. Right. But yeah, I mean, what were you saying? Continue.
I was just going to say to add on to that point, Joey, too, it's as a leader, a lot of times, I mean, you guys know how it is. As a leader, sometimes even if it's not your fault, you have to take some sort of accountability as the best player on the field and as a team leader. And so to throw your teammates under the bus, it isn't a great look. But I think also it shows his competitive drive, like the fact that he actually lashes out like that. It's not the best way to handle it, but it shows how much he cares, which is part of why he's so successful. Yeah. Because for him, it's not about the money. He has all the freaking money in the world. His wife's making more than he is.
Well, and he took pay cuts. He took pay cuts for years.
Criminal pay cuts.
His whole career in the Patriots. And now like he got the opportunity to get paid and he got paid.
Oh yeah. Now the deal he's on now is a fat deal. I think it's a 2-year deal for $50 million or something like that, with basically all guaranteed. But he's not in it for the money though. I mean, he's doing it because he loves to do it. And he wants to stick it to Belichick too, to tell everyone that he doesn't need Belichick to succeed, that he was the main reason that the Patriots were successful. And he's doing that now. I mean, look where the Patriots are. Look where he is, I
honestly think that was one of – God.
I saw a clip this morning and it was talking about how I don't even know the name of the coach for the Bucks, but he was saying like, in New England, he wasn't allowed to coach, he wasn't given that opportunity, where here, there's times I sit back and let him do his thing. That's something he brings to the table. And I mean, when you play in the league for 20 plus years, you have so much experience, so much knowledge from past experiences. I mean, he's been to how many Super Bowls and played in how many games, like he knows what he's doing. And, the coach was just saying that he gives him the opportunity to coach and he just sits back and lets Brady speak. And I mean, obviously it's working. I mean,
it's almost like he has higher authority than the coach at some point. Like the majority of coaches don't even reach the accolades that he has. So it's like, might as well let the guy coach.
Yeah.
That can be a dangerous dynamic though.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
very dangerous.
Right. In any program, when you have a player that in some senses seems like they're above the team,
Yeah.
if that player isn't performing at their highest level and if that player doesn't respect that power and treat it in the right way, it can be really dangerous and can lead to a toxic environment. But if there's any player that's earned that right, it's Tom Brady.
Oh, absolutely. And literally everything. All right. So everything we've talked about in the last 5 minutes about accountability and leadership and being able to take care of that role properly, it all comes back to this book that I read called Extreme Ownership. And I'm pretty sure we've talked about this on the pod before by Jocko Willenick, the Navy SEAL. I'm sure you guys have heard of him.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just an unbelievable book about leadership and like how crucial it actually is. Going down to, you know, he talks about when they were at Bud's training in California and how critical it is to have a proper leader in there, controlling the boats and throughout the whole entire training, because you don't have a leader, you don't have a team, and if you don't have a team, you don't win. So it just all starts there, and that's in any sport, any business. The CEOs, like those guys, they're the quarterbacks of the companies. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really important to have that figure that the team, the teammates and the people, whether Joey, like you said, whether it's a company, whether it's, you know what I mean, whether it could be an investment firm, it could be the freaking Tampa Bay Buccaneers, whatever it is, when you have those teammates and those people that have that figure they can go to ask questions and they can look to in dire moments, and that person is calm and that person knows how to deal with those situations, that's really important to have that. And it's a luxury to have that because not every team, not every company has that. So when you have that, that's why those firms, that's why those teams, they're so successful.
And it's interesting you say that because it can also go the other way. So if you have teammates or say another executive come up to you as the leader and they're expecting a correct answer from you, they're expecting you to perform at your highest capability. And if that doesn't happen, it's almost like I feel like there's a definite doubt in that person, which leads to doubt in yourself because you're looking up to them like they're your leader, they're your, in this situation, quarterback. And he's just been able to control that role throughout literally his whole entire career, which just blows my mind. But yeah,
I think
And
he proved himself from the start though. Like he came in first year, he was the backup, and it was his second year. He got the opportunity as a starter and won the Super Bowl in his second year, first year as a starter. There's only one other quarterback to do that. I don't know who it was, but he said he was one of two guys to ever win a Super Bowl in their first year as a starter.
yeah. And honestly, go ahead, Colin.
I was just gonna say my point builds off Dylan's a little bit. He's always, I mean, not obviously not now, he's established, but when he first came in as the quarterback in high school, when he first came in as the quarterback in college, and when he first came in as the quarterback in the NFL, he was basically walking on needles the entire time. One mistake and he was out because he wouldn't have even been in that spot if it wasn't for a ridiculous amount of injuries. And so for him to take that opportunity and to have that leadership role, even when it probably shouldn't even be his, that accounts to his mental toughness, and that accounts to the fact that it's embedded inside of him, which is what makes him so successful.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I honestly thought that Garoppolo was going to do the same thing to Brady that Brady did to Bledsoe a long time ago. And it didn't happen, but it was headed there. I mean, look at Garoppolo. What did he sign? Or where did he go actually? He's at
San Fran. Trade him for a second round pick.
Yeah. And he didn't do too well this year. Right.
He's been very injury prone. He signed a big deal. He had so when he was traded to San Fran, they were a dog shit team. I don't even know what their record was, but they weren't good. Yeah. And he won 6 straight games to end that season after he was traded to San Fran. So everyone there thought he was going to be the guy. And then, I mean, he had some injury problems in New England when he got popped by Kiko Alonso.
Oh yeah.
Ended up coming out of the game, and then so Brissett had to come in. So he's always been, the durability with Garoppolo isn't there like it is with Brady. I mean, Brady's there,
which is crazy. It's crazy to think about because Brady is the opposite of a physique when you really look at him. You know what I mean? And his training is it just fits him. And I think that's what a lot of people. That's another thing we could talk about is that he found what works for him and he ran with it. A lot of people try to copy other people. They try to do the same stuff, the same training. How many other guys in the league do you think are doing what Brady's doing? Probably none.
Yeah, I mean, besides
Maybe
like
a few
kickers,
on, kickers. Yeah.
yeah, literally. Like Gronk tried to replicate Brady's preparation. And I think that's a huge reason why Gronk fell off so fast is because he stopped lifting. And some of that had to do with, I mean, he had brutal back injuries and brutal knee injuries. And so he wasn't really able to train by lifting those heavy weights like he did coming up, which is what made him such a freak. And he tried to change his preparation style because of the injuries. And I think that led to him falling downhill. So that's a perfect example, Joey, of somebody taking someone else's game plan. It works, or somebody else's preparation style. It works great for one person. In this case, worked great for Brady, but didn't work at all for Gronk. So I think Gronk needs to go back to what he was doing before.
Yeah. They go hand in hand, the physical preparations of the game and the mental. You can't copy someone else's mental preparations. It's not going to work. I mean, Dylan, we see it a lot in hockey. The mental preparations between every player is completely different. Completely different.
And it differs with their position too. You know, comparing Brady being a quarterback, it's like comparing you and me. You're a goalie. Yeah. I'm a center. You know, it's totally different. And you know, they have different roles on the ice, and therefore they need to prepare differently for that. I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You guys got anything else about this story?
I think I saw just another fact I saw online this morning. And it was just saying, so what was it? How did it go? Number of NFC championship appearances since 1997. And it was like Brady, years in the NFC, 1. Championship games, 1. And then it was comparing like the Dallas Cowboys, like however many years, 27 years that is, I guess. And it's like 0. Like Brady, again, just shows that he shows up, you know, he performs. First year, he's already taking the team to championship game. Like,
yeah,
he just continues to perform.
He'll hold the record books, I think, until football is not a thing anymore. Because I mean, the list goes on for pages and pages and pages. But yeah, hey, honestly, I like this talking about underdog stories on here. And I think it's like people can benefit from it because it's just like the snippets that we put on the Instagram. It allows you to see, like, get insights from other people's stories to use for your own. And just know that there's different ways to get to where you want to go, and nobody's route is the same. And ultimately, there's millions of different routes to success. So,
and these just serve as, you know, platforms of inspiration and motivation.
Yeah. All right, boys. Good work today. Hopefully, next episode we'll have a guest on, and I'll be working on that. But for now, you guys can head over to Apple Podcasts and make sure to give us a review, a like, and you can watch this video on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe because we'd like to get our subscribers up, get the brand out there. So thanks for listening, guys.